I'm gonna talk about something that I don't usually talk about on this channel, and that is Kingdom Hearts. I did a review on Kingdom Hearts 3 not too long ago, but I'm currently doing a Kingdom Hearts retrospective marathon thing over on Twitch. If you aren't following my Twitch already, which a lot of you aren't, go follow my Twitch now. Link in the description. But yeah, I've been going through the Kingdom Hearts series, and I just wrapped up a playthrough of Kingdom Hearts 1 again, which I haven't played in like 4 years, like 4 to 5 years, and I just wanted to do a video talking about it and seeing if it still holds up as good as I remember it and as good as it was way back in the day back on the PS2. So without further ado, roll the intro. Kingdom Hearts 1 is still a great game. All of the games that have come after it are better, but it's still amazing. And I still think it treats the Disney side of the Kingdom Hearts series with a lot better than the subsequent games did, because not only do we have the Disney worlds that we go to, we also have Disney characters appearing outside of their worlds. We have the Chernobog boss fight towards the end of the game. You have all these things, and you actually fight Maleficent as well. Like in 2 and 3, you don't fight Maleficent, but she still appears in the game as like this thing, like you're going to fight Maleficent, and then it gets to the point when you don't fight her, which is always quite annoying when a game does that, when they tease this big bad and you don't actually get to fight them. Here you get to fight her in her normal form and her dragon form as well. The only other game where you get to do that is Birth by Sleep, which is a prequel. But yeah, I still regard Kingdom Hearts 1 as one of my favourite games, even going through it again. I thought I would find myself not enjoying the like slowness and clumsiness of the combat, and yes, that is kind of an issue here. There is kind of like a very clunkiness to the combat, but there isn't like anything. But I found myself like kind of liking the simplicity of it compared to like 3, which is just balls to the wall bombastic, and it kind of got a bit too much, and it was just, oh yeah, here's a cutscene, here's a cutscene, here's a cutscene, here's a cutscene. It all just kind of was a bit and it just felt like rushed for the sake of being rushed. The biggest problem that I have to say about this is the actual ending, like the ending fight. I feel like it's a lot easier than a lot of the stuff that you've done before, especially since like you have a like workup of a lot of hard fights, that you have this that the end fight is so easy compared to that. I think it might just be that they were going for a Wizard of Oz effect, where they have the big bad just be, you know, taken down really easily. But I also don't like that in a video game, because it's not very fun to have a final fight be that easy, that you can just like wait there and you can have just Donald and Goofy just beat up on this guy. But I do honestly think that this game still holds up, and yes, I don't think that the world selection was that great, especially compared to later games, but this is still the first game. I like the inclusion of Deep Jungle. I love Halloween Town, even though it's based on a movie that I don't really enjoy. Monstro can go fuck off and die, Neverland is weird because you don't actually go to Neverland. You just spend it on the pirate ship. Atlantica is terrible. The 100 Acre Wood, I think, is kind of at its best here. It might be at its best in 2, but I need to re-go through 2. And I'll do a video on 2 when I get done with it on stream. Once again, look at my Twitch. Go follow it. I'm like 7 followers away from affiliate, so I don't know what affiliate does, but I hope it does something. But yeah, I love most of... I don't like the worlds that were included, but that's just because the other games have better worlds. But I really enjoyed going through like Deep Jungle. I didn't enjoy Wonderland just because the like final fight. Agrabah is okay, but it's Agrabah. Again, Monstro, not very good. Atlantica is the worst thing ever. Halloween Town is fun. Neverland is just kind of a missed opportunity. Hollow Bastion, I think, is at its best in this. I think Hollow Bastion is definitely at its best here. And I like the final world. I like the end of the world as a final world. I think it looks cool that it's just a lake with a load of rocks on it, and then you have this gargantuan like ship that's also a Heartless. I really like that, and I really like how this game keeps it simple. Like, the story is relatively easy to follow here. When it gets going into the later games, it just gets really confusing and really like kind of adds too much into the mix. Here I like the fact that like the big bad is a Disney villain, but then it's not, and it's this guy who's trying to make Kingdom Hearts, but all of these Disney villains still have a big role to play, but they're also pawns to this other guy. And I felt that was interesting, and I wish that they would have kept that going in the later games instead of having Organization 13 or Xehanort come in and just have these characters that are just not Disney characters or Final Fantasy characters. They're kind of creating new characters that aren't that interesting. Because, like, I don't know about you guys, but I don't find the Organization interesting. I would much rather be fighting, like, Kingdom Hearts 3, for example. You don't fight against, like, a lot of the Disney villains that are in the worlds that you would be in. Like, in the toy box, the Toy Story world, you fight a UFO Heartless. Wouldn't you prefer fighting, like, Stinky Pete or Lotso or, like, Sid even? Like, wouldn't you prefer to fight Randall in the Monsters Inc. world instead of fighting this big glob Heartless? Yeah, it's just, instead of fighting the Disney villain there, you fight some Heartless there. Here, you're actually fighting the Disney villains, and it feels, you know, good, because you feel like a part of that movie, and you feel like a part of that world when you're actually fighting in it. A thing that I don't get is in Atlantica, Triton does mention the fact that he like knows of Keyblade wielders, but that's never like brought up in Birth by Sleep, even though that would have been the perfect place to bring that up because it is a prequel. But I don't know. But yeah, that's my kind of overview of Kingdom Hearts 1 overall. I think it's a great game. I think that you should definitely play it if you haven't. And Kingdom Hearts as a series is definitely something that, like, that I would recommend to anyone. It's my favourite series. It's my favourite gaming series, but also it's very, like, it's very heavy on the plot, and it's very, like, it used to be very difficult to get the full story. Now they have the story so far pack, the story so far disc, which is all of the games leading up to 3, and then you only have to buy 3 after that, which you can probably get pretty cheap at like a CEX or GameStop now in the US. But yeah, it's not that difficult to get a hold of all of these games now on one console. But yeah, 358 over 2 days, apparently it's like, it's all just cutscenes. Like, I went through it on stream, and it was just the cutscenes, and there's none of the gameplay from that. I don't know if it was too difficult to, like, reinvigorate the DS into a PS4, but I don't know, it's just the cutscenes there. They've only just, like, revamped the cutscenes, but they've revamped the whole of RE Coded, even though that's, like, a completely different game. But yeah, definitely, if you haven't already, check out the Kingdom Hearts series. If you're a big fan of the Kingdom Hearts series like me, let me know in the comments below if you're still a big fan of the first game, if you think that the first game hasn't aged well at all. Let me know what your favourite game in the series is. Let me know what your favourite world in the series is. I will be coming back with videos like this on 2 and 3, possibly Dream Drop Distance, might do RE Coded, won't be doing Chain of Memories because that game is just not fun. For me, I don't like the card-based system. And when I played it on stream, I couldn't wrap my head around it, and I couldn't finish it. So I'm not going to talk about a game that I didn't finish. Only the fact that I don't like it. But yeah, I will be coming back with videos on 2, RE Coded, Dream Drop Distance, and 3. There's not really any point to doing Fragmentary Passage, because it's only 2 hours, but I'm going to be playing that on stream anyway. So yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Follow my Twitch. Do it. Now. Peace.